The Mets and the Braves are playing for something more than an NL East title this year, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But you're looking at two really good teams right now. Braves just took a half-game lead over the Mets. The Mets have slumped just a little bit, and I kind of attribute that to the Dodgers series taking a lot of that energy out of them. They wanted to show everyone that they can beat the best team in baseball, and they can. They can beat the best team in baseball, as they showed. But I think there was a little bit of a letdown after that series. They expended a lot of energy getting to that point. But now you got Max with a fatigued arm. We don't know how that's going to go. You've got Marte with a fractured finger now. You've got Guillorme, who hasn't come back yet. You've got Carrasco, who's trying to come back from injury. You've got a lot of questions on this ball club right now, and they're still staying afloat. They're still 30 games over 500, at least 30 games over 500. But at the same time, you're playing a team, or not playing a team, but you're in the same division as a team that has been playing the same caliber of baseball as you would see with a team that would go 119-43 if it was expanded throughout an entire season. The Braves are playing .730 baseball since June 1st. They're 40 games over 500 in that time frame. That's basically the Braves telling the Mets, we're not giving you any room for error. And that's almost impossible. I mean, you can't keep pace with someone who's playing .730 ball. So the 10.5 game lead is gone. The Mets are now down by half a game, but by no means is this race over. And, like I say, I'm not a Met hater. I appreciate good teams, and I appreciate what the Mets have done this year. They're 10 games better than they were last year, and they still have a whole month to go almost. So they're still going to win 95 to 100 games. It's just that the Braves have now kind of eclipsed that pace. And so it's not about what team is not doing anything right. It's about what team has pretty much been the hottest. And the Braves have been the best team in baseball in the last 3 months. I mean, 64-24. My God, that's insane. Those are insane numbers, and they're not just beating you one way. Tonight they beat Seattle. They hit the long ball, but they were still playing ABC baseball, getting the runs in. So it doesn't matter how they're beating you. They're still beating you with somebody, whether it's pitching, offense. And so, but it's not just about the division race. Earlier this season, Jacob deGrom was basically saying that he was going to opt out of his contract and become a free agent, and it was rumored that Atlanta was the top destination. It doesn't help that the things have unfolded this way halfway through the season and onward. Because when you see the Braves, you see the organizational moves that they have made. You have the Mets, who still have questions with their depth and their bullpen. And when I say depth, there's no guys to relieve Alonso. Alonso needs a day off or two, man, and there's really nobody in that lineup that can really give that to him and still give them, a good chance to win ball games. So it has to be on Alonso, it has to be on Lindor, and they're exhausting themselves right now. Meanwhile, the Braves have Ozzie Albies go down with an injury. They just pluck a guy up out of the minors, and now he's an everyday guy. Even when Ozzie comes back, they'll push Vaughn to left field, and Ozuna's going to ride the bench. Everything the Braves have touched right now has turned to gold. And meanwhile, the Mets are still looking for answers. That doesn't bode well if this trend continues and it finishes with the Braves winning the division and making another long run again. DeGrom's going to see that, and he'll be like, well, my presence in that rotation is going to make us that much better in Atlanta. And he's going to be gone. So I think the Mets and Braves are really playing to see who's going to have DeGrom next year. Because if the Mets lose this battle, it's the future for New York isn't going to be looking too good, because Scherzer's going to wear down. I don't know how many years he's going to have left. So then you don't have Scherzer, you don't have DeGrom. I mean, you're looking like the early 2000s Texas Rangers, where you have a whole lot of hitting but not enough pitching to back it up. So this is really important for the Mets to figure it out now, to win now. Because if they don't, it's not just one season they're losing. They could be headed for a few years of hurt, especially with that lack of depth they don't have. And it goes back to what the Mets fans are saying. We don't have a bullpen. Epler, you didn't make the moves at the deadline. We needed guys in front of Diaz. We can't get the Diaz if, we're blowing leads. Joely Rodriguez, we're from New York. You saw what he did with the Yankees. The Yankees didn't want him. Why do we want to bring him here? Those are the things I'm hearing from the Mets fans, and I think they're legitimate points. But at the same time, the Mets are 30 games over 500. They have provided a lot of excitement with this divisional race. And I would just hate to see that be a one-time thing, This would be nice to see an annual thing, Mets and Braves rivalry renewed. And as opposed to Atlanta turning into mid-90s form again and just blowing everybody away in the East just because they grabbed DeGrom, and now you got DeGrom, Fried, Soroka, Wright, and Strider. My God. I mean, you're basically handing Atlanta a dynasty if you don't do anything about it. So this is an important month for the New York Mets, I must say, and also for the Atlanta Braves. And whoever gets the wild card is going to have to run through the Dodgers and the LDS, so there's another thing for you. We know both teams can take the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are going to be rested, and you'll be coming in with your third or fourth starter going against the Dodgers ace, Gonsolin. It's just not a good predicament for the loser of this divisional race to be in, so that's why I think there's so much writing on this with, facing the Dodgers. Ooh, DeGrom's out there. Can we kind of woo him with our play and lure him over here to show him, hey, we can give you run support? And I think that's one of the things that Epler could have done at the deadline. Knowing the situation that DeGrom is in right now, he could have said, hey, just do like the Braves last year. We're going to buy into this. We're going to get you some bullpen pieces. We're going to get you another bat or two, not just Vogelbach. And we're going to make a contentious effort to win this thing to give you a reason to come back to us. Because if the Mets win the National League, if they go to the World Series, that may just be enough to sway Jacob to come back. I'm just saying. And then they can have all off-season to build around him a little bit more. They talk about Judge, they talk about Ohtani. I don't know if they can get that caliber of player, but the Mets are still in a position to come out on top of this. So, Mets fans, don't give up on your team just yet. You still got a good team. Just got to ride out this rough stretch. The question is, when are they going to break through and get back to their winning ways? And it shouldn't be too long, I think, but this is going to be an exciting race, let me tell you. It's going to be a great month.